Okay, good. Appreciate you all being here, and I just want to say hi to Alaska. I appreciate speaking directly to the people that I serve as governor. And I thank you all for coming here today on the shores of Lake Lucille. This is a source of inspiration for my family and for me. And I'm thankful that Todd flew in last night from commercial fishing grounds in Bristol Bay to stand by my side, as always. It's the eve of our celebration of independence as a nation. It's a time to remember our nation's dear souls who sacrificed so selflessly so that we all may live in freedom. From the shores of Maine to Texas and California to the tip of Barrow, we live in peace because centuries ago, so many fought for something far greater than themselves. And so many continue to fight for us today. So I say, God bless our military on this eve of Independence Day. Well, people who know me know that besides faith and family, nothing is more important to me than our beloved Alaska. Serving her people is the greatest honor that I could imagine. I want Alaskans to really be able to grasp what can be in store for our state. We were purchased as a territory because a member of President Abraham Lincoln's cabinet, William Seward, he providentially saw in this great land vast riches and beauty and strategic placement on the globe and opportunity. He boldly looked north to the future. But he endured such ridicule and mocking for his vision for Alaska. Remember the adversaries, they scoffed and they called this Seward's folly. Seward withstood such disdain as he chose the uncomfortable, unconventional, but right path to secure Alaska so that Alaska could help secure the United States. Alaska's mission to contribute to America. We're strategic in the world as the air crossroads of the world, as a gatekeeper of the continent. And bold visionaries, they knew this, and they knew that Alaska would be part of America's great destiny. Our destiny to be reached by responsibly developing our natural resources. This land, blessed with clean air and water and wildlife and minerals and oil and gas. It's energy. God gave us energy. So to serve the state, it is such a humbling responsibility because I know in my soul that Alaska is of such import for America's security in such a volatile world today. And I know that you know me by now. I promised 4 years ago that I would be showing my independence and there would be no more conventional politics as usual. We are doing so well, my administration's accomplishments. They speak for themselves. We work tirelessly for Alaskans. We aggressively and responsibly develop our resources because they were created to be used to better our world, to help people. And we protect the environment and Alaskans, the resource owners, foremost with our policies. Here's some of the things that we have done. We created a Petroleum Integrity Office to oversee safe development. We held the line for Alaskans on Point Thompson, and finally, for the first time in decades, you're seeing drilling up there for oil and gas. We have a GIA, the gas line project, a massive bipartisan victory. The vote was 58-1, also succeeding as intended, protecting Alaskans as our clean natural gas will flow to energize Alaska and America. It's through very different than what had happened before. This time it's through a very competitive pro-private sector project. This is the largest private sector energy project ever. This is energy independence. And ACES, another bipartisan effort. It's working as intended, and industry is publicly acknowledging its success. Our new oil and gas clear and equitable formula, it's so Alaskans will no longer ever be taken advantage of. ACES incentivizes new exploration and development and jobs that were previously not going to happen, not with a monopolized North Slope oil basin. We cleaned up previously accepted unethical actions, and we ushered in bipartisan ethics reform. We also slowed the rate of government growth. We worked with the legislature to save billions of dollars for our future. And I made no lobbyist friends with my hundreds of millions of dollars in budget vetoes. But living beyond our means today is irresponsible for tomorrow. We took government out of the dairy business. We put it back into the private sector's hands where it should be. We provided unprecedented support for education initiatives. And with the right leadership, we finally filled long vacant public safety positions. We built a sub-cabinet for climate change, and we took heat from outside special interests for our biologically sound wildlife management for abundance practices, predator control. We broke new ground on the state's new prison. And we made common sense conservative choices to eliminate personal luxuries, things like the jet and the chef and the junkets and the entourage. And the lieutenant governor and I, we said no to our pay raises. Really, there is so much success in this first term, and this success, I am proud to take credit for hiring the right people. Our goal was to achieve a gas line project and more fair oil and gas valuation and ethics reform in 4 years. We did it in 2. And it's because of the people, the good people, good public servants surrounding the governor's office with servants' hearts and astounding work ethic. They are Alaska's success. And we are doing well. And I really wish that you would hear more from the media. More from the media of your state's good progress and how we tackle outside interests, special interests daily we're tackling, those interests that would stymie our state. Even those debt-ridden stimulus dollars that would force the heavy hand of federal government into our communities with an all-knowing attitude. I've taken the slings and arrows with that unpopular move because to veto that, it was the right thing to do because I know being right is better than being popular, and it wasn't a popular stand to take, but some of those dollars would harm Alaska, and they harm America. I resisted those dollars because of the obscene national debt that we're forcing our children to pay because of today's big government spending. It is immoral, and it doesn't even make economic sense. Another accomplishment, our law department protected states' rights. 2 huge U.S. Supreme Court reversals came down against that liberal Ninth Circuit, deciding in our state's favor just over the last 2 weeks. We're protectors of our Constitution, and Federalists protect states' rights as mandated in the 10th Amendment. You don't hear much about the good stuff in the press anymore, though, do you? Some say things changed for me on August 29th last year, the day that John McCain tapped me to be his running mate, and it was an honor to stand beside a true American hero. I say others changed, and let me speak to that for a minute. Political operatives descended on Alaska last August, digging for dirt. The ethics law that I championed became their weapon of choice. Over the past 9 months, I've been accused of all sorts of frivolous ethics violations, such as holding a fish in a photograph or wearing a jacket with a logo on it and answering reporters' questions. Every one of these, though, all 15 of the ethics complaints have been dismissed. We have won, but it hasn't been cheap. The state has wasted thousands of hours of your time and shelled out some $2 million of your dollars to respond to opposition research. And that's money that's not going to fund teachers or troopers or safer roads. And this political absurdity, the politics of personal destruction, Todd and I, we're looking at more than $500,000 in legal bills just in order to set the record straight. And what about the people who offer up these silly accusations? It doesn't cost them a dime, so they're not going to stop draining the public resources, spending other people's money in this game. They won't stop. It's pretty insane. My staff and I spend most of our day, we're dealing with this stuff instead of progressing our state now. And I know that I promised no more politics as usual, but this isn't what anyone had in mind for Alaska. If I've learned one thing, it's that life is about choices, and one chooses how to react to circumstances. You can choose to engage in things that tear down or that build up, and I choose to work very hard on a path for fruitfulness and for productivity. I choose not to tear down and waste precious time, but to build up this state and our great country and her industrious and generous and patriotic and free people. Life is too short to compromise time and resources. And though it may be tempting and more comfortable to just kind of keep your head down and plod along and appease those who are demanding, hey, just sit down and shut up, But that's a worthless, easy path out. That's a quitter's way out. And I think a problem in our country today is apathy. It would be apathetic to just kind of hunker down and go with the flow. We're fishermen. We know that only dead fish go with the flow. No, productive, fulfilled people determine where to put their efforts, choosing to wisely utilize precious time to build up. And there is such a need to build up and fight for our state and our country, and I choose to fight for it. And I'll work very hard for others who still believe in free enterprise and smaller government and strong national security for our country and support for our troops and energy independence, and for those who will protect freedom and equality and life. I'll work hard for and campaign for those who are proud to be American and who are inspired by our ideals, and they won't deride them. I will support others who seek to serve in or out of office. And I don't care what party they're in or no party at all, inside Alaska or outside of Alaska. But I won't do it from the governor's desk. I've never believed that I nor anyone else needs a title to do this, to make a difference, to help people. So I choose for my state and for my family more freedom to progress all the way around so that Alaska may progress. I will not seek re-election as governor. And so as I thought about this announcement that I wouldn't run for re-election and what that means for Alaska, I thought about, well, how much fun some governors have as lame ducks. They maybe travel around their state, travel to other states, maybe take their overseas international trade missions. So many politicians do that. And then I thought, that's what's wrong. Many just accept that lame duck status and they hit the road, they draw a paycheck, they kind of milk it. And I'm not going to put Alaskans through that. I promised efficiencies and effectiveness. That's not how I'm wired. I'm not wired to operate under the same old politics as usual.